Excuse me, a motion to call the town board meeting of December 20th, 2012 to order, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Do you want to do the flag?
Sure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a moment of silence for the veterans that are in this country and out of this country serving us, and also for the victims of the Newtown shooting. Your emergency exits are on your left and the rear, our right. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Reamer? Here. Councilwoman Perotti?
Here.
Councilman Haas?
Here.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Here.
And Supervisor Flood?
Here. You got public comments?
Billy Carroll?
Bill Carroll. I'm here to voice my objection to the, I guess it was a merit bonus or a merit salary increase or whatever, to the bookkeeper. I believe on the reorg meeting in January, you all voted for 20 hours per week for the bookkeeper at a salary of, I believe, $30,056. And now I hear that you're going to give her $5,000 for work that she did from, I guess, January till November or December, I'm not sure when, but did anybody increase their hours from that time, or was it always 20 hours per week, as stated?
Always 20.
Always 20. And she apparently did this work on her own.
Well, she inherited a lot of it. So the transfer station was new. That started this year. It started the year before, but then it got into about 4 million, 3.5, 4 million this year. Plus the payroll she picked up. Plus the she oversees the water company, also the billing, or not the billing, but the
Bill it.
the bookkeeping, the reconciliation of the town water after Jane does it. She also oversaw the NYSERDA grant. There was another grant we got also that was the payroll for the NYSERDA grant, the certified payrolls for all the contractors that were here. There was one other grant that we did too.
Well, my question is,
And also the rail trail, she started with that. And that's it, I think so far. There's something else too that I picked up on.
Landfill.
Huh? Oh, the landfill's a big one.
my question is, why wasn't this brought up during the year instead of now, in December? During the year, you've cut hours on other people. You bickered back and forth about a 2% raise for people. You finally ended up giving a 1%. But here we are now at the end of the year, the economy being so bad. And Darlene, you said that they're lucky to have a job. You made a statement here at the board meeting saying that. I think that was a derogatory remark to make for a board member at a meeting. But anyhow, $5,000 is a lot of money.
It's, it's cumulative. It's not something, it wasn't really apparent till the end of the year when the budget was done and all the hours that went into everything along the way.
Well, plus I believe it should have been a budgetary item. I think it should have been done in public instead of an executive session. But you voted for 20 hours per week for her.
Well,
salaried. I mean, this is what you did. This is what you, the people on the board, did. This is what you voted for.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, kabang, we get hit with $5,000 taxpayer money? I mean, God bless her, I mean, she's doing the work, but fine, but this should have been brought out earlier in the year, not at the last minute. When you've cut people's hours, people have left to get other jobs. I just think it's wrong, personally. That's my opinion. I'm not going to stick to that. I think it's morally wrong to all the other employees that you have working here. They all do a fine job, I think. I don't know anyone that hasn't done a good job. But I think it's morally wrong for the employees that work here now to all of a sudden give a $5,000 merit bonus or whatever you want to call it to one person. I'm sure these other people, these other employees have done a good job. They've probably gone above and beyond what they're supposed to be doing. But anyway, I am against that. I know it's not going to do any good. You're not going to listen to me. But what are you going to do in 2013? Are you adding hours to her?
Yeah, we increased her hours.
She can't handle it.
We increased her hours.
You did.
What?
You did,
Yes, I did.
without us knowing.
The board members didn't? The board
We
members
can,
didn't?
within the supervisor's office, we can increase her office, her
Well,
hours.
isn't that a board decision? There's 5 people sitting on the board.
Right.
All right, well, just things have changed. One other question is,
They've done it in the past, from what I understand.
well, whatever.
Whatever, that's right, whatever.
Have you, has the board,
No, we do that at the reorg meeting. We will set everybody's hours and their pay rate, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, that's a town board decision, and we'll make that at that
I
time.
thought it was.
I don't believe, this merit increase is the prerogative of the town board to give in particular occasions.
I realize that.
So, but not going forward. This has nothing to do with 2013. That's a different decision.
Well, you all said the economy is bad, and so be it. But anyway, one last thing I have. Has the board, when you transfer money, has the board transferred any money out of a district into another line item or into the general fund? For instance, like fire company, the lighting, or the water district? Have you moved any money out of the districts?
No.
That's a no?
I think so.
Okay. Thanks. Have a good holiday.
We can't move money out of a district, from what I understand, correct?
No, that's
Right.
their budget.
Mary?
Hi, I'm Mary Henschel. I'm the branch manager and assistant vice president of the Bank of Millbrook. And I'm here today because I had heard rumors that the town might be moving some accounts. And I want to express to the town that the bank values our banking relationship. And I also heard things to say that perhaps the Bank of Millbrook is not up to snuff, doesn't have enough technology. I brought some paperwork here regarding that you might be interested in regarding scanning deposits, checks, and whatnot, if you feel that that might save you time. And may I approach and give?
We have them.
From Millbrook?
From Millbrook, yeah, sure. The problem we have with your system is not compatible with our system. And I've talked to you. Right.
This is about scanning.
Correct.
So, I mean, I'll leave
Right.
it here for any board member that would like to
I'll take it.
look at
I'll
it.
take
Sure.
it, sure. I didn't understand that we have a problem with our,
But I spoke to the, what's this, Ron at the Millbrook Bank, and I told him that the problem we have is that their system is not compatible with our system, and they will not do the upgrade to make it compatible.
Well, is that for scanning, or what is that
Not for scanning, for the payroll and some other stuff that, if we're gonna go to a
Direct deposit?
direct deposit payroll, you can't do it with our system. I've had these conversations. We've been back and forth with the Bank of Millbrook for months.
Okay, and because it was my understanding that, there was a program that was needed for direct deposit.
It won't work.
Well, I know that perhaps your program doesn't work. We do direct
I know that,
deposit. We
right, right.
have tons of things that,
Yep.
companies that do direct deposit. This paper that I handed out is in regard to scanning. There is a fee involved, but of course, you know, the bank would probably be willing to see, you know, what we can do and work with the town of Amenia. I just came because I wanted to make sure that I was in the loop too. You know, if you have any questions or if any board member has any questions regarding the accounts or what we are able to do, I would appreciate it if you would come to me and I can make sure it gets to the correct person, and so that there's an open line of communication.
Well, our IT people have been in contact with your IT people
Okay.
at the bank, and they've spoken to your IT person at the bank in Millbrook
Okay?
multiple times. So it's not going to work. That's the issue. That's the only issue we have.
Okay.
So,
All right, well, I'm
and I
glad
spoke to
that's
Ron.
the
I
only...
spoke to Ron about it.
Okay,
a
I'm
few
glad
weeks or
that's
so
the
ago.
only issue, and, you know, if anything else comes up, I would appreciate it if, you know, talk to me, I can talk, or, you know, as long as I know what's going on too, I would appreciate that. Okay. And does anybody have any questions on what we can offer? or
What
anything?
exactly is it? It won't, why can't we do direct deposit? It's our software?
No,
It's apparently, it's our software?
Well, it seems like if
It's,
it's,
the two softwares are not compatible.
Right,
So it's not
right.
specifically your software or our software, it's just
They
these
can't talk
softwares
to each
don't
other?
work.
They're not going to work. It won't work.
But I thought.
I
that
think
there
it's
might
on
be
your
something.
end, but we'll see.
Okay, that surprises me since we do direct deposit with lots of different
We know that.
companies. You know,
Yeah.
so,
Is it
and
a
we
function
don't
of,
have problems.
is it our function of us being a municipality? I mean, your other customers have the kind of software that does work, but we don't have. So maybe it's because it's a municipality?
I don't know.
Do you do other municipalities? So
Yes.
other towns do their payroll. We're using BAS, which is,
And
right?
I don't know what, you know,
That's a
all the
typical
different
town.
programs are, so, you know, I'm not an IT person.
Right, but
So I
if
wouldn't be
other
able to tell
towns
that.
can make it work, I just don't understand. Our BAS system doesn't work with theirs?
Their system is not compatible with our system. It will not work. We've been through this for months with them.
Is there a way to make ours compatible
I
with
don't
this?
think so.
well, have we looked into it?
Yeah, I think we did.
You think or you know?
We did.
Is that why we're adding Salisbury Bank
Correct.
to our? Well, I would like to thank Bank of Millbrook because over the past 9 years, I've been doing the Holiday of Lights. They have been very generous and gave us the grand prize for our drawing. It's not a small thing for Town of Amenia, $50 grand prize to the raffle winner, free raffle prize. So I thank you and Ron
Thank you.
and Therese who helped us get that every year.
Okay. All right, well, if anybody has any questions, I'll leave my business card here. You can
Well,
contact me.
The other thing is, it's not as though we're abandoning Bank of Millbrook.
Right.
We're adding to the array of choices that we can have along the way.
I
so-
understand that.
Yeah, so it's
I
nothing.
understand that, but I just wanted to make sure
Okay.
that the board knows, the town knows, that the Bank of Millbrook does care. We value the banking relationship. And, you know, we try and do whatever we can. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So is it okay if I email Mario and ask him to give me a little bit more information why other municipalities have been able to
Why don't you
work?
talk to Sherry? Sherry's dealt with this.
Sure, is okay. I'll talk to her.
I think Mario might be the better one.
Well, let's start with Sherry. She's the one that's made the contacts with the Bank of Millbrook.
And I don't think we can change to the bank anyway.
Why?
Marilyn Noe? I'm sorry. Sorry.
Well, how can we?
We added the Salisbury Bank to the list, so you can move accounts back and forth to different banks.
I know, but
I had a long conversation with legal counsel at the Association of
I'm
Towns.
sure.
I have to.
Yeah.
Under Section 10 of General Municipal Law, should be a resolution discussion from the town board to change banks, because where the town monies are deposited is under the authority of the town board. You went ahead and signed the application to go to Salisbury Bank to send the tax money to go there, and had Patty sign as acting town clerk before the resolution was passed, adding Salisbury Bank and Trust to the investment policy, which makes it illegal to move to Salisbury Bank at this time.
Well, we didn't move anything. They did the paperwork, that's what they were doing. Because of the time frame to move the tax money in, which starts January 1st, right? So that's what we did.
Yeah, but
So
you can't move the tax money.
We didn't move any money. We just did the application for the bank.
Well, I'm telling you, your application's null and void.
Well, then we'll redo it on the next meeting. That's no big deal.
And before you can just send the tax money to Salisbury Bank or any other bank, there should be a resolution for the town board.
There was a resolution.
We did a resolution.
We did
to
a
that.
resolution.
That was the investment policy.
That is the best.
Wasn't
I
added
thought
to
there
the
was a
investment.
resolution for,
Right.
That was to add them to the investment policy so that we could use them as a bank.
So all you're saying is that we need an additional resolution to actually authorize the transfer. So we've added them to our investment policy. So before we open up any accounts, we need to have an additional resolution. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's fine. Next.
Carol? Marilyn Bristol Noe from Amenia. Victoria, could you explain to me how are bills paid that are submitted to the town, and how many of the town board are involved in approval of any bills that come into the town?
Well, we sign the vouchers that go with the bills. I mean, each of us are assigned to a certain category of bills, like Vicki and I do the general fund, and CJ and Darlene do highway and the water district. So
Okay.
we look at the bills and the vouchers that are attached, and that's what we'll be doing tonight.
Okay, so it's not just one, it's at least 2 board members that are
Yes.
involved?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Here are your vouchers, so you want to know, right here.
I know what vouchers look like, sir.
Well, I'm just telling you what they are.
Yeah, okay.
We sign them tonight.
Okay. Has the town board ever considered having three signatures?
Well, there are
Three.
3, because the supervisor looks at all the bills, he signs them, and then 2 town board members sign them also.
Okay, all right, so there's a safeguard there. Okay, very good. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Anybody else?
No.
Highway report?
Yes, I don't have much. Tomorrow they're supposed to come do the borings. They started out Wednesday, they got postponed. Today it got postponed, they're supposed to be here tomorrow. Hopefully they come. One question. Is the board going to accept vouchers until the end of the month? I got an email from Sherry, it says only till the 20th. We have a lot of outstanding, but not a lot, just a few, which I'd like to get paid out of this year's budget.
No, we have to be able to pay through the end of the year, right? We do
Absolutely.
a resolution, or we make a motion to do that.
Right, but they're not here at this point, so we'll have to meet again before the end of the year to do another resolution.
I thought we'd do like a blanket motion to pay all the bills that come in
That's what we usually
after the
do.
20th, so that would cover.
Right.
Right.
We'll do that tonight?
Sure.
Okay. That should do it.
Okay, because I have
No, we have to pay this.
I have a gas bill, a diesel bill, they're gonna be up there.
I got them. I got them.
No, I got another one coming.
We got them today.
No, you don't have
Okay.
them. I don't even have them yet. You have the ones for the delivery that came in November.
Are they November's?
I have a delivery for December.
Okay.
That's all I have. Any questions?
Town clerk?
The only thing I really want to say is Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you.
Committee reports?
Thank you.
Well, I'll just reiterate again that the CAC has been meeting regularly. They're looking forward to putting some signage or, trying to find funding, grant funds to do something positive with the landfill. Having all this effort being put into remediating this 8 acres of PCBs and bad stuff that was dumped here for so many years. We want to turn it into a park where it's educational and informational. And so we're looking forward to that, and I think that'll be really good. There was a question from the audience that asked, what about the maintenance of this park? And the good news that isn't as obvious to everyone is that the town of Sharon was cooperating this landfill with us, and part of their share of the cost of this is to maintain it for the next 30 years, so which is the life expectancy of this situation. I don't know what happens after 30
the
years.
added bonus is that we get to say what gets done there. So the CAC can say whatever pathways or what's to be there, and then the town of Sharon actually executes the lawn mowing or whatever needs to be done.
Right, and those costs are absorbed as part of the remediation. The pathways were done with the park in mind, so that the roads that they built and had to do a deck to get their cranes out to the center of the pond will be used as observation points and all of that. So it's really been an unfortunate situation for Amenia, but we're doing the best we can to give a silver lining where we can.
And the parking area will be built based upon the existing staging area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we paid for that. We paid $60,000 for that. And they're, by the way, they're going to close they're going to shut down for the winter. Marco?
Want to talk about the water district itself, or you want to talk about billing, or
Water district.
water district?
We're not going to get into the
Water district, so far we've, this past month, we used 89,000 gallons on average per day, just over 2 million per month, no leaks. All of our sampling is done for the year, so really just riding it out. Like was talked about last meeting, well 1 is online, 40 gallons per minute. After the fracking, no issues. When they first put the pump and motor back down, we tried to turn it on, nothing, it was dead. We had a bad wire actually going back down to the well, so that was repaired. Had to pull the pump and motor back out, replace the wiring, and that's it. No issues after this point. So we have an extra surplus of 40 gallons per minute coming out of town. Not that we need it right now, but in case of emergency, it would be great to have.
And can you just explain that we had to do this fracking because of the Board of Health requiring this as an emergency situation? Am I wrong or right?
That's not correct. Well 1 has a history of, it's got a lot of iron in it, and it has a history of every 5-7 years it needs to be fracked because the veins in the rocks get plugged up, so we get very little flow out of it. We were in that situation, so it's not abnormal for this well. This is the original well in the town. They tried to, years ago, drill it deeper to get past that problem, but it never happened. You know, they drilled it deeper, but couldn't get past the problem, I should say. It's, you know, it's a good well to have as a backup, I guess. We can alternate all the wells. They go into rotation, but it just gives us a safety net at this point.
It's just a safety net at this point. Okay.
And you've notified the health department that it's back online?
No, we have not notified the health department it's back online. It's been, you know, able to pump water if we needed to, 4,000 gallons per time if we needed it before it would run out.
Can you tell us a little bit about this backflow prevention?
Sure.
This is just for commercial buildings,
No.
for residents as well?
For residents, yeah, there is a code in Part 5 that is out there. It's been out there in New York's, in the New York State Department of Health law in Part 5. And that mandates that any possible cross-contamination source should have some type of isolation, whether it be a double check valve or what we consider an RPZ, and that's for a positive or a negative pressure loss of water, that there would be a physical connection break of the line. So in this case would be a flapper that would open up and dump. So what I've been doing is meeting with the building inspector. We put together a proposal of possible areas to look for. So one recommendation is water softeners would have at least a minimum of double check valve. Any industrial or commercial restaurants, we recommended to have an RPZ put in, because in that case you could have a hose that's in a sink, such as dishwashing, things like that. If you ever had a line break outside and lost pressure, you would siphon water back up through the hose into the public water supply if that RPZ was not there. You know, these are preventative measures to protect our water supply. We have no violations, we have no water quality issues. We want to make sure we keep it that way.
But what's the cost of one of these things?
The RPZ or a double check valve will vary on the size needed.
Well, you charged me, I got paid for $650.
Yep, for a 2-inch one, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so they can be
So
600.
my concern is, are we going to tell 350 people in the town of Amenia they got to spend $300 for a
No.
water valve that shouldn't have been done? Or then another $150 a month, a year to inspect it? That's
Again,
the issue.
Well, the issue, no, you didn't understand what I'm saying.
I do understand
A
exactly.
double check valve or RPZ. Double check valve is anything.
No, I don't understand why it didn't get done when we did the meters.
Why it did not get done?
Yeah. Because this thing is in violation since 2011.
It's been in
Cool.
violation forever.
Yeah.
And I've been bringing it right here for many years to do it. In our last sanitary inspection, the inspector brought it up and asked us if we had a cross-contamination program. We do not. So we have until now to get it done. We have another sanitary survey coming up next year. I would like to be able to get that in compliance and give that to the health department at the state level and county. It should be on file. This building right here has an RPZ in it. This building is the only one in the town of Amenia that's registered with the state right now. And they ask for that every year. So double check valves do not need to be inspected. RPZs do. Double check valves are usually for residentials. RPZs are usually for commercial. So depending
But
on the
we've
site.
had 3 commercial buildings that have opened up here that they don't even have them. They're brand new.
We don't.
No.
And were the new service lines brought into the building? And were they brought online correctly?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
So then, but
I know-
they're not done.
I know yours was done.
Right. The
I
deli
know-
wasn't done, the hairdresser wasn't done.
Nope, was not.
And then there's a third one that wasn't done.
Yep. And
And
nobody's
they
even,
got Board of Health approval? Is that the sort of thing that Board of Health looks at as part
they
of?
looked at as the water district, through the
Well,
water
the health
district.
department wouldn't let me open without mine,
Mhm.
so I don't know if the
So you
health.
put it in then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, usually restaurants, they do that part of their inspection, they'll ask for that. But these hairdressers and these other establishments that open up were never communicated to the water department, found out after the fact. But these are areas that we should be concerned about. These are areas that, at minimum, have an assessment done on them by myself, the building inspector, And our assessment would dictate either if there is a double check valve needed or a RPZ needed. Again, double check valves
So
do
this is something the
not.
building inspector would inspect?
No, it has to be a certified backflow preventer. There's a list of them in New York State, and the list of them in New York State are available to anybody in the community to use. The enforcer would be the water department and the building inspector.
I
And-
did download it. I talked to the health department today in Poughkeepsie yesterday, and I downloaded, you can go, John can take the test if that's not that big a deal, from my understanding.
Anybody can take the test, correct?
Right.
And
So
get
it
certified.
could be done by the building department.
Yeah.
And/or,
That's
my
what I was
concern
thinking.
is, how do you get, the water committee get 300, how many people in the water district, 300?
300 connections. But not all 300 need backflow preventers
Yeah,
or
they just need the
RPZs.
double check valve, right?
Double check valves do not need to be inspected.
Well, who's
RPZs
going to
do.
pay for the double check valve?
Who's going to pay for the double check valves? Right now, that's why I gave it to you guys to decide that part of it. Okay, whether the town pays for it or the homeowners to come into compliance, or the commercial residents, commercial establishments to come into compliance.
What would a typical resident pay for something like this? What would be
For a
the,
plumber, I'm just going to ballpark it, maybe between $100, $200 for the installation. Double check valve is cheap.
$100 to
cheap.
$200
Yeah.
for the installation, and they don't need anything beyond that.
That's
They
it.
install it by a professional plumber or themselves.
There's no, we don't require a licensed plumber in Amenia, so it could be anybody. Homeowner can do it themselves.
Okay.
Yep. And they can get the part at Lithgow or, wherever. It's just double check valve. That should be part of the connection, but again, only necessary if they have a water softener. Would be a possibility, or any other cross-contamination hazard. There could be a person, let's just say out there, and I don't know of any, but if somebody had a well and they wanted to hook onto the municipal water,
So doesn't a letter need to go out to everybody in the water district?
does a letter need to go out?
I mean, how do
Yeah.
you,
I would recommend a letter updating the water district of, any potential hazards, cross-contamination hazards to contact us. We could be doing random inspections. The building department could do inspections but the suggestion was during its fire inspection for commercial establishments, looking for these devices.
that's every 2 years though, right?
Every year, I believe he does
Every
it.
year?
Mhm. And the RPZs would have to be inspected every year. Double check valves, again, do not. So double check valves are,
just have to make sure they're installed?
make sure they're installed on the people that could be a high cross-contamination threat. Not everybody will need them.
Does the town do that inspection, or is that where the property owner would need to provide
The
certification
inspection,
to the
they would
town?
have to provide the certification for the inspection. And then the town would obviously have to follow up to make sure that the inspections were done, and if they weren't, according to the proposal, there could be some penalties associated with that, and if it continued, then water service to be terminated, and additional fining for that, and additional fining to turn it back on.
So what's the first step? To identify anyone who doesn't have this?
Correct. Send the letters out to everybody, let everybody know what's going on, and then identify threats, and then enforce the threats.
Now, has the billing gone out for January yet?
Not yet.
So we could enclose a letter with the billing?
Correct.
But that would be the easiest way, I would
Right,
think.
and you wouldn't expect them to get in compliance. You give them a grace period. You don't expect, within a day. I mean, obviously, 6 months, 3 months, whatever you want, whatever you think is necessary to do it. Again, this has been something that has been brought up for years on cross-contamination and RPZs here in Amenia. Never wanted to be enforced. So now we're dealing with it. Now we're to the point where we have to enforce it. We have to follow up.
So
with it.
do we know how the letter should be worded?
That's
Well, we do have a sample letter.
right, John and Ian came up with
John
one this
Fenton did
morning.
a
Yeah.
sample.
Yeah.
You've seen it, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I looked at it this morning with them. Yeah, I made a couple
Yeah.
of revisions in a couple
Ian
of
made a
sentences.
revision this afternoon.
Okay, because the date here is February 21st. 2012. It's like, wow, it's over.
So that's.
So we're already, yeah.
So in order.
So
you
are
know,
we set to be able to send this letter out with the billing so we can get a handle on this?
I would suggest yes, but it's up to the board to decide that.
I think we have
We
to
have to-
notify everybody.
We have to make sure that we
Yeah,
have
that's
our
what I'm
policies in
thinking.
place. If somebody's going to ask us, if we're sending a letter
Well,
like
yeah, well,
that,
that's my question, because we don't have any policies and stuff. I don't think
That's-
we're gonna be ready by this,
that's correct.
by probably the next quarter maybe, because this thing is, this was downloaded from the city to Village of Wappingers. And then you retyped it, right? That's what you did.
There, we made some amendments to it,
Right.
correct.
Right.
We
'Cause
used,
there's
we
actually
used to be
some, there's
consistent.
actually some mistakes in this thing.
Yeah, we wanted to be consistent with what
Right.
other municipalities were using locally. And since John's from
Because we have a
Wappingers,
water
he's familiar.
commission, we don't, or not a, we have a water
Committee?
committee, we don't need a water commissioners. I talked to the state today, they said we don't need that. There's some stuff that I think Ian has to take a look at. I sent this to you. Right? Well, you just got it the other day, so I'm not asking for, you got K-type copper in here, you're replacing everything with plastic at this point.
Copper or plastic is suitable, I use both. I've been trying to use
So
plastic to
this
save
says
down on
all
cost.
service connections shall be K-type copper. My building, we use plastic,
We use plastic on, correct.
and
Save
everything
on-
else you
save
use
on cost.
plastic.
So we can use
Uh,
copper or plastic here. That's the only recommended materials.
Right.
You can use any material, but those are the ones I'd recommend for longevity of service lines, of connections. Because we don't want to chase galvanized like we've been doing. That's galvanized we want to phase out.
Would this be close to where the meter is, or?
Yes, right there. Yeah, be right there, right where the meter is.
Yeah.
So, should they have been done when the meters were installed? They put in, silly things that they did when the meters were installed. They put in, pressure reducing valves at the elevation, the same elevation as we have the water tank. It's pretty hard to, at 20 pounds of pressure, to exceed that. This again was all done via grant money and a contract that was signed with an outside vendor. The outside vendor, we had to go back and do some repairs on afterwards, obviously. But these things were never brought into the installation of the water meters. They should have been.
Well, I think we have to think about ways to do this and not put the burden on the homeowner. I think that we have to find a way to finance this.
Correct.
In some way. It's not fair to the public to
It should have been done. when the
have an
meters were
additional
in.
charge that could have been done at the time of the installation of the meters and be a
Correct.
seamless function,
Correct.
so.
Well, that was grant funded, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, but
it was pretty much dictated, the way we handled that was trying to follow those grant guidelines. Maybe if we'd known more about it, this issue didn't come to the town board's attention when we were doing that. We were just
Right.
following the grant guidelines, getting those meters installed and hiring exactly the way that they required at the time. I'm not saying, I don't know if it could have been done at the same time. It possibly could, but we just didn't know that was,
That's an
that we
accurate.
were out of compliance. We had no idea.
That was an
It's the
accurate
first time
statement.
I've ever heard
Yep.
this.
That's a correct statement.
So I think we ought
is a
to,
water softener considered toxic?
The media in it can cause the water lines to become contaminated.
Right, but is that required by the state health department? It's not.
It's soft. If you read through the law, it doesn't tell you. It says cross-contamination hazards.
It
And-
says it's toxic or hazardous substance.
That's right.
Should a facility be rated hazardous, as determined by the Board of Water Commissioners, a reduced pressure zone device would be required independent of a separate system handling the auxiliary water system.
So
So my question is, and I couldn't find out from the state because they wouldn't answer it.
that's because there
'Cause I think
is
we're
a
getting
hazard.
morphed into something more than what we need to. I think we
The
need to be
state's
very,
not clear on exactly what
Right.
is. I can give you that.
from what they told me, is if it's like a building that does batteries or printing or something like that, that's considered hazardous. Actually, a restaurant wasn't required.
Restaurant, if they have the hoses in the sink, or hairdressers, if they have the hoses in the sink and they can siphon back up, that is considered a cross-contamination hazard. Now, that's an audit that can be done. That's usually the health department does do that. But are they staying in compliance? You know, I'm not out there looking at those all the time. Is it a potential, is what you want to look at. Is it a potential hazard? Is a water softener a potential hazard? The argument can be either way, but I can argue it that
Problem is
as
your
a
wells
water-
are 150 feet from septics.
exactly.
So,
The wells in the towns are 150 feet from septics, not our wells. Our wells are not 150 feet from septics usually. They're not, I don't know of any of them around there.
the one
Actually,
you just fracked is.
which one, yours? 150 feet from yours, or from,
Well, there's 2 right in the front, 3 right in the front. Less than 150 feet, they're 100 feet.
okay?
So,
So it's was passed and approved by the Board of Health.
you know, well, I know,
And
but
the water softener.
I think we have to take a hard look at this and see where we are, to be honest with you, as to what the requirements are, because I think at this point we'll see.
All I can do is, I can give a
Yeah.
list to the town of where we're out of compliance, and come the sanitary survey, if we don't have this inspect, if I can give this, the health inspector, our requirements that we have right here. I can also give him our list of threats that we have, and our game plan of moving forward. Whether he says we're in compliance or not, at that point, there's not much more we can do. All I can do is bring it to your attention that this is what needs to be done.
And
Now,
did you send him the tank inspection report?
I do, he has it now. He does have it, yep.
So can you do a bullet point to him, and so we can get a determination if we are in compliance?
Well, it would be the day of the inspection.
Um,
Well, I talked to Mr., what's his name, Miller?
Ron Miller, yeah.
Ron Miller.
I can review it with him again beforehand, but again, this is, you know, they're the health department on cross-contamination, and again, how we've all been taught and what the letter says, it's very soft, but any contamination, cross-contamination threats. So,
So if someone has no water softener, if it's just a direct line,
nothing,
there would be no concern.
no concern at all. If they have a sprinkler system, there's concern. If they have if it's a gas station, is it a concern? You have to look at the establishment and see what's
You
going
have
on there.
two buildings with sprinkler systems, we both put them on.
And they have them.
Right,
They're
that's
fine.
done.
That's fine. But if it was a lawn sprinkler, again, I don't know anybody with lawn sprinklers out there. Automatic fills for their swimming pools, I don't know anybody who has those either. But those are cross-contamination threats. People who may still have an active well that we don't know about, that's still plumbed in, that's an active threat.
Well, I think it's good to know this. Water is a commodity that, once it's contaminated, it's...
Right. We have a very good water supply. We'd like to keep it that way, right? So we have a very good water system. It's a good water supply. We have really no major impurities in there that's going to cause us any violations. We want to make sure it keeps it that way.
Right.
Well, it's chlorinated, right? So,
Still can get contaminants in there, not just talking bacteria, I'm talking anything. It could be anything. You have a morgue, you're going to suck in, or dry cleaners, you're going to suck in chemicals in there. You got some contaminants in there. So those are carcinogens that you're going to have in the water. Petroleum-based products. So I'm not talking bacteria only.
God knows what's on the old, what was it? The old dry cleaners place on Mechanic Street.
Yeah.
That's never been cleaned. That's,
Marco, I just want 3 quick questions.
Sure.
But the residency, that double flat, is that
Usually
a
it's-
flapper valve?
Yeah, double check valve. It's not a flap valve. Flapper
What if you have your
valve.
own filters? I have a water softener because we have hard water, and I have
Mm-hmm.
2 canister filters, one just broke, one chocolate. Does that negate the need then?
No, because the water can still flow backwards.
But it still goes in the filter.
Doesn't matter. It's still cross-contamination hazard. Because again, that filters only filters what? Sediments. Does not filter any carcinogens or anything else that may come through. Any petroleum-based products or anything like that could happen. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. On the filters, I don't make the law, but it's either double check valves.
Technical question.
Yeah.
And to the Darlene point, near the main, which side of the main? Town side or?
Oh, the double check valve?
Yeah.
Well, anything that's in your
Which
house.
side of the meter?
Yeah, anything inside of your house, it doesn't matter if it's which side of the meter it's on, you're responsible. It doesn't matter which side.
No, where do you want it installed? She said.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It needs to be near the meter, which is kind
Near the meter. That's all I'm going to say. It doesn't have to be in front or behind. It can be either way, as long as it stops the flow.
Thank you.
Okay.
If when the people who are installing the water softeners, do they automatically put them in?
No.
No, they don't, okay.
No.
So how?
Like I said, water softeners is a tricky, it depends who you talk to. It doesn't, like Bill was pointing out, it doesn't say that in the law. It says cross-contamination, possibilities. It depends who you talk to, whether that can or cannot be. Depends on what type of water softener they have and where it's draining to. There's a couple of factors to, think in there, if it drains straight into your septic or not.
Is there a difference between whether it's draining to a septic system or is it
Outside.
To a that's what we understand.
Yeah, it's outside could be outside just to the ground. I've seen some out like that. It depends. And it depends if it's a salt-free or if it's salt-free or not, because those salt-free ones don't have backwashes on them.
Right. But the ones that have the salt, you add the salt, that is that.
I'll leave it to the town to make the decision because
Okay.
the state can't even make the decision. I've just given you a recommendation. The state can't even come up with that as a hardcore, a hardcore thing. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I got an email from Arlene Giuliano today. It said, Bill, some interesting information in this message. They are really moving forward on the pictures for the upcoming photo book I'm working on. Glad they're having scanning sessions. I plan on going to the nearest place in our region. Looks like the Movie House in Millerton at this time with what I have. Maybe at your reorganization meeting, you can give an update on the projects so people can who have pictures. If anyone does have pictures and want to bring them for scanning, can do so, especially if they maintain their described schedule. And also, please note that there are grants for municipal records. Maybe the town clerk will be interested, which we have. Do you still have that scanner at Ann's? Or no?
I have my own scanner.
Is it there?
No.
No, okay. Are there any other committee reports?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
About a month ago, we noted that there was a vacancy coming up on the Recreation Commission. The person currently holding it is Christine Ford, and I don't believe any other volunteer applications have come in for the spot on the Recreation Commission. Christine Ford, who was a Citizen of the Year, has worked very hard on the commission. She organized and the cleanup of the Wassaic playground. I mean, she not only had the idea, but she organized the whole thing, got everybody there and got it done. She had an idea for a movie night and she made that happen. She does the advertisement. She and her sons are there at every movie night and trying to make it as successful as possible. I think having someone with that much energy and new ideas is a breath of fresh air on the Recreation Commission, and if we want to expand our recreation in the town of Amenia, I think she's just the type person we should have on the Recreation Commission. So I make a motion to appoint Christine Ford for a 7-year term on the Recreation Commission.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Reamer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Perotti?
Yes.
Councilman Haas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
And Supervisor Flood?
Yes. And who is up next?
Tom.
In March?
And we have, I also have a Trail to the Train report. I asked for a summary from WSB Cells, bullet points under the draft design report. They received the comments. The comments were received from Region 8, disposition in progress with a few outstanding issues, environmental opinions responses from New York State DEC and FWS must be presented for conclusion of impact on endangered species. MNRR verifies $6,000 for force account is for fence installation only or for duration of construction. These are all, initials are all part of the design report. Seeker, town resolution, and legal language need to be included in the report. SHPO determinations are more than 3 years old and will need to be replaced. He needs to know if a Phase 1 archaeological study was performed and if there are any contact with Native American groups. Parking at the North Terminus, the MNRR commuter lot is utilized for the existing rail trail going north and can be utilized for the proposed rail trail going south. However, the South Terminus in Wassaic, there's no dedicated parking for trail use. And one of the things they need to look at is if there is adequate on-street parking in the hamlet. Also for the ROW 353C form with ROW estimate must be included in final design report, and certifications must accompany the final design report, and forms are provided with comments. Design-related issues are the parking of the South Terminus and non-standard feature justification, lateral clearance between below standard between rock outcropping and MNRR, which is Metro North Railroad. Form to be provided in the final design report. Then when the above outstanding issues have been resolved, the final design report will be sent to the town for review before the FDR certifications and depositions are sent to Region 8 for design approval. We're planning to have a conference call next week to go over this information and see what else we need. I also have a grant report.
There's a couple things over this thing. When I spoke to Dave, I spoke to Sells the other day when I called them. We're a ways away from any approval for this thing, probably by the looks of things. Some of the stuff has to be redone, so we'll see where we are with this. Also, we've got to deal with the parking in Wassaic, so we'll see where we're going to have to deal with something with that. So.
No, it's good for us to
That's
start thinking about that, because that hasn't been
You can't
brought
park
up.
there.
No.
So
Well, you have to be creative. We always are creative down there. The thing is that Pauling Corp really has, on weekends when most people are available to use the rail trail, that parking has all been very accommodating for, like when we do the tours of historic Wassaic. We've done a number over the years, and it really does absorb 50 cars, easy. 50 cars in and around. I mean, that's just no problem to put that many people down there. So that's something that we should probably talk to Pauling Corp, because they were very supportive of the rail trail. Good idea.
There's also we have to figure out, because it has to be plowed in the winter. So that's something.
The rail trail?
Yep. Who's going to plow it?
Is that absolutely required? Because I thought that they didn't do that. We could cross-country ski on some of it.
Because actually it's becoming more of a commuter thing at this point. It's not in this one, but it's in another letter that I got. So that's part of it. And the county won't take it. They've already said they won't take it. So that's something we're going to have to deal with also.
Don't they close the rail trail in wintertime?
I have skied on the rail trail, so I don't recall it being plowed daily.
They don't plow it.
I don't think they plow it.
No.
I don't know why we are held to a higher standard than. I agree. I'd be surprised. I think that, whoever's meeting with them, please argue for non-plowing. I just don't,
That'd be a problem.
not necessary. I mean, for 1 or 2 people, in the winter, most people don't use it. It's a summertime. 90%, I would say, it's used, by families in the summer.
Okay.
The town of Amenia grant update, the Wassaic Trail to the Train, the first DOT reimbursement check for $41,600 has been received. The New York State Dormitory Authority, we sent in the grant award documents and the design report. We're waiting for a contract. They're waiting for us to complete the right-of-way. Main Street, Darlene and I and Mike Haggerty and John Fenton are going to meet on Friday, December 28th at 8 o'clock to start to do an initial review of applications.
Sorry,
NYSERDA
what time
grant
was it?
is finalized.
Sorry, what time was the meeting?
8.
8
You're going to be
o'clock.
away. You
It's
said
8 p.m.?
yes.
Okay.
8 a.m.
8 a.m. on Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
What we'll do with you is Mike has a form where I guess it was similar to what we did with the applications for picking up the design person for the Trail to the Train, is where you can rate each application. So he's going to have a form. I'll make sure you get one, Vicki.
Okay.
Where you look at each application. John Fenton has already reviewed all of them and looked to see which one would require what permit. So he's already reviewed them. Fountain Square, all of the grant has been used. The Fountain Square repairs have been completed. The Greenway grant, we obtained $10,000 reimbursement. One of the things we have to let the DOT know is that the Greenway would like to be acknowledged in some way with the Wassaic Trail to the Train. He's preparing, Mike is preparing the 2012 claim for the dance program, the OCFS. Phase 2 of Tower Hill Road, the design plan was approved by FEMA. And also for Wassaic Trail to the Train, we have a completed Community Development Block Grant application in. An Arts Place Grant, Wassaic Project Application for Economic Revitalization of Downtown Wassaic. Town Supervisor and grant writer have offered technical assistance. I develop a background statement on the Wassaic Trail to the Train project. The other things I discussed with Mike today is Leo, he received an email from Leo Blackman about setting up a meeting with him. He's also going to be calling Sophie Miley, Rudy Eschbach, and anyone else who would like to go for possibly a Saturday morning meeting to do a concept plan and cost estimate for the kitchen in order to apply for a rural development grant. He's also contacting Linda Bull, Regional Records Advisory Officer, about what the town would be eligible for a grant to do microfiche to reduce the volumes of paper at Town Hall. I downloaded some information on existing facilities, looking for lighting incentives, and I'll be meeting with Darlene, and I will go over that information to see if the town's eligible for any additional monies from existing facilities as part of the NYSERDA grant.
I spoke to them, but they didn't, well, they didn't seem to think we were, but maybe we can get some more out of them.
On this Trail to the Train report, I think Tonya should be included in where we are in this. She should get, it should be circulated. She expressed interest in getting that committee up and running, and I think
Yeah,
if
they're
they
going to
need to
ask
know
where
where
I
we
can
are.
forward this to Dave
Yeah.
and Dave. I
Yeah.
think Dave would want it too.
Yeah, I think, they've taken the initiative to regroup, if you will, so I think we need to capture that energy.
Okay.
Oh, I also, if we're talking about grants, I did get a letter the day after the dance recital on it was on Sunday, December 16th. On behalf of the Dutchess County Arts Council, we are pleased to inform you that a 2013 project grant of $790 has been awarded to the town of Amenia for Amenia's free dance program. This award is pending final approval of the state budget and receipt of funds from New York State Council on the Arts by the Dutchess County Arts Council. So of 51 applications received, they had $117,000, not very much. but it made the process very competitive. 26 grants out of 51 were awarded for a total of $40,000, $950. The job was difficult. Anyway, we're very pleased. This is the first time the Dutchess County Arts Council, to my knowledge, has awarded a grant directly to the town of Amenia. It could be years past they have, but certainly for the dance program I've applied but not gotten it. So this is the first time we've actually broken that. Wasaic Project has gotten these grants for about 2 or 3 years, and we have sponsored that, but it didn't make us ineligible for ourselves to apply for those funds.
That's great.
It's very good.
Good work.
Also, the county increased in their, they did adopt their budget. The shared grant was increased from 1 million to 2 million, which Mike said the other night, so that after January 1st, we can apply for
Shared
shared
services.
services.
So our ambulance district, that would be
That
a
could be part of
possibility
it, right?
of collapsing and bringing
Right.
these things together.
Is that it for committee reports?
Enhancement Committee will meet in January, the third Wednesday, whatever that date is, at 5:30 here at Town Hall, because we need to talk about what we're going to do with the planters and sadly, you know, what to do about planting out some of the public gardens that Herb has really managed the whole time. So we've got a big job and we really need volunteers.
January 16th.
January 16th is our enhancement committee. All volunteers are welcome. You don't actually have to be a committee member, but we do need a lot of helping hands for doing the barrels and the Fountain Square. Yeah, you're the president.
We're done. Yeah, we're waiting for public comment.
For committee.
I didn't want to, Kevin Cassone, Chairman of the Enhancement Committee, I just didn't want to have a sneezing attack in the room here. One thing I wanted to do, I'm going to be reaching out to everybody who had anything to do with the Holiday of Lights, sort of like a little follow-up, maybe by email or phone calls. Jess, I've been trying to write down all the things that happened, what people forgot, what was the last minute, sort of snafu, get together, write it all down, and then I'll be sending out, maybe by February, it'll take a while, an email with all this information in it. And what nobody should do is respond alarmingly towards it. It'll be all the ideas that everybody gives us. Don't blame the messenger. The idea is to try to get everybody's input and write it down so we don't have all the stress and all the last minute problems we did. I mean, I ended up having to have an extra sort of cleanup day just to make Town Hall look nice for the event. I'm not patting myself in the back, but Maryland practically made a kitchen. Everybody did something like that. Everybody did some sort of extra last minute thing, and we were all running around like crazy. I mean, Vicki, you look so stressed. You were giving away money, and I never saw anybody look more unhappy. You're supposed to smile when you're giving away money, Vicki. That's politics 101.
We had a tight time frame.
That's okay.
Give it out fast.
I think next year you're going to have to change the hours. You're going to have to make it longer.
Yeah,
It's too much jammed into a little bit of time.
Right. Change the format, maybe. Probably
Right.
light the lights a minute to train. I didn't want to get into all the details, but yeah, probably light the
Well,
lights.
it could be a
the minute-
show in the auditorium and so on and so forth. That could be done later on. All that stuff could be done as we do,
Yeah.
Christmas caroling or whatever you want to do within the building, at the stage. So,
Right, and now that we had so many people, I think, Vicki, because you were going back and forth, auditorium or gym for the dance. I mean, you definitely had enough people to fill up that auditorium, and that's a more prestigious sort of, I don't know whether you like the sort of chumminess of the gym, but anyway.
Yeah, we just have to look at the whole logistics, figure out where the parking issues did or didn't happen. Can we add more people? I just don't know. We need to get input from all the people who were managing that day.
Right.
Different pieces, because we weren't all aware of what was going on behind the scenes.
Right, that's why I don't want to, when it's still fresh in people's mind, I want to be talking to people soon, right after the holidays, right in January, and then I'll try to write it all down. And then the other idea is that then we have our meetings leading up to this sometime in September, and by the end of November, by the beginning of November, a month out, that's it. We're just sort of done. And if everything's written down in advance, then we can all just sort of be on autopilot and actually enjoy the event. Actually have, a little written binder, sort of the plan of battle, the attack plan, and we don't deviate from that. And then we can start printing far in advance. We had, Andy Murphy helped us with that. We were trying to do some of it here. We had to redo some of it twice anyway to avoid problems. So when you get the email from me, answer it.
So who would be compiling all this information? You would be. So we need to know your email, or, people out there, I'm sure, have ideas who are not involved, who may want to participate in some capacity next year. Should they?
Oh, okay. I was saying that I would just be, well, I knew most of the board. Well, you can reach me at town government, for everybody at town government.
Yeah.
First initial, last name, at amenianewyork.gov.
Okay. Because
so,
others, as observers of the whole process, may have
True. If somebody
never
has a
thought
great
about.
idea, we don't want to squelch any great ideas. But the idea is to get it all written down far in advance. Everybody sort of just, without even specifics, just sort of like, we have to do this. Maybe we could even have like blanks, like such a date, we need to do this. We leave that date blank. But we have a list. We know we need to do this. We need to, so that we're not running around at the last minute.
Getting meatballs.
For me, mulching beds. Yeah, getting meatballs because they thought they were dropping it off, and we thought they were dropping it off, and they thought we were picking it up. Anyway, and that's it for enhancement committee. I had one. Well, I'll wait for public comments. I had one little one to make. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Kevin, for doing
Main
all
Street
that.
grant, we're done with that one, the discussion, we don't even want to write. We need to set a date for the 2013 reorg meeting. We should have done it tonight.
You want to do it Wednesday, or the 2nd, or the 3rd? Well, if you do it on the 3rd, it's a Thursday. New Year's Eve is the 1st. You can do it either Wednesday or Thursday.
What's available for everybody?
I'm available either day.
I can do
either day.
Thursday.
Thursday?
You want to do Thursday?
looks better.
Okay, then it'll be Thursday, January
6 o'clock?
3rd. 6?
Yeah, let's do 6.
Okay.
What is the date of
The 3rd, January 3rd at 6 p.m. Thank you. You're welcome.
The employee handbook we had on tonight, but we got to do a little bit more work. Okay. And we just got to tweak it a little bit next day or two. Sure. We'll have it. We
And
can
we're
do
going
that
to approve
reorg.
it. Yeah, we're going to approve it at reorg.
Transfer of funds. What resolution number is this?
75.
Authorize the town board to transfer funds.
Do we have that?
Yes, you do. I put it in your mailbox.
Okay, go ahead.
Whereas the town board has authority to transfer funds when necessary and unanticipated to amend the budget, and whereas a town budget line 2770.1 unclassified revenues requires an increase in the amount of $10,000 received from Millbrook Ventures LLC, and whereas the town budget line 80204.1.103 planning wastewater engineer requires an increase in the amount of $10,000 for the purpose of wastewater engineer services, and whereas the town line budget 12204.1.48 supervisors conference requires an increase in the amount of $71.19 for the purpose of mileage and conference registration for Mary Millette, and whereas the town budget line 12202.100 supervisor requires a decrease in the amount of $71.19, and whereas the town budget line 13104.1.40 director of finance requires an increase in the amount of $1217.25 for the purpose of CPA professional services, and whereas the town budget line 12201.1.00 supervisor requires a decrease in the amount of $1217.25, whereas the town budget line 16201.1 buildings PS requires an increase in the amount of $963.75 for the purpose of personal services, and whereas the town budget line 16204.1.133 building cleaning requires a decrease in the amount of $963.75, and whereas the town budget line 16704.1.61 central print requires an increase in the amount of $734.4, for the purpose of legal ads. And whereas the town budget line 16604.174 requires a decrease in the amount of $734.40. Whereas the budget line 36204.163, safety inspection, requires an increase in the amount of $327.25 for the purpose of mileage. And whereas the town board line 36204.1.51 requires a decrease in the amount of $327.25. And whereas the following town budget line needs to be increased, line 13304.1.47, tax collector requires an increase in the amount of 1245 for tax collector tier 2 software final payment. And line 14204.1, attorney requires an increase in the amount of $12,747.44 for the attorney fees, including Whitman, Osterman, and Hannah for Kent Hollow Mine. And line 14404.1, engineers requires an increase in the amount of 151438 for the purpose of engineering services. And line 35104.1.63, dog control mileage requires an increase in the amount of 194.15 for the purpose of mileage. And line 85104.100, community beautification requires an increase in the amount of $8.97 for the purpose of Christmas trees. And whereas the town budget line 19004.1.49, special items, requires a decrease in the amount of $15,709.94. And whereas the following town budget lines need to be increased, line 16204.1.62, building maintenance, requires an increase in the amount of $9,954.95 for basement doors, countertop for the building inspector's office and locksmith. And line 16204.1.50, building copier, requires an increase in the amount of $1,213.60 for fax kit for town clerk copier and copier services. In line 16204.1.4, building CE requires an increase in the amount of $2,059.94 for the purpose of website services with business automation services. In line 16204.154, building electrical requires an increase in the amount of $725.05 for the purpose of electrical services. And whereas the town budget line 16204.159, building heat requires a decrease in the amount of $12,250, and the town budget line building CE mowing requires a decrease in the amount of $1,703.84. And whereas the town budget line 80204.1 planning requires an increase in the amount of $957.02 for the purpose of survey by Kathy Mitchell, wildlife biologist. And whereas the town budget line 80202.1 planning requires a decrease in the amount of $957.02. And whereas the town budget line 80204.1.103 planning wastewater engineer requires an increase in the amount of $4,423.18 for the purpose of professional engineer services. And whereas the town budget line 80101.1 planning zoning requires a decrease in the amount of $4,423.18. And whereas the town budget line 83104.6 requires an increase in the amount of $6.80 for the purpose of postage. And whereas the town budget line 83104.6.80, administration unallocated insurance, requires a decrease in the amount of $6,080. $6.80. And whereas the town budget line 13554.1.43, capital project assessor needs to transfer $20,000 of CD interest. Bearing account decrease in the general fund balance, whereas the town budget line 95504.6, capital reserve fund water district needs to transfer $25,000 to the CD interest bearing account, decrease in the water fund. Be it further resolved that the Amenia Town Board authorizes the bookkeeper to encumber all claims against the town that are received between December 21 and 2012 and December 31, 2012. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the town board authorize the transfer of necessary budget lines to process the transaction. Motion made by
TJ?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Councilwoman Parodi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilman Haas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reamer?
Yes.
And Supervisor Flood?
Yes. Give it that so we can sign it.
Pardon?
Let's sign that,
Yes, we're signing it. Why?
so we don't lose it.
We're not losing.
Well, I'm glad to see the capital reserve funds are properly
Well done.
reserved for years hence. The water district has money, so maybe that is where we have to help homeowners if that becomes determined to be a hardship for people to install their backflow devices, preventative devices.
Stanley's money was moved, that's done. Your money was moved, that's done. Your money was moved, that's done, the capital reserve fund, so we've moved all the money where it has to be. Supervisor's report.
Excuse me, Billy. We have a second resolution for the leasing of
Oh, that's
Dutchess
right.
Community
Sorry.
College.
What's this, resolution number 76?
Yes.
Authorizing license agreement with Dutchess Community College for English as a second language program at Amenia Town Board, the Town of Amenia, held at the Amenia Town Board on the 25th of December 2012 at 7 p.m. Supervisor William Flood called the meeting to order and
Second.
seconded by Councilwoman, introduced the following resolution with, whereas the Town of Amenia Town Board has determined that it is in the best interest of the town for public to have a course of instruction available for learning English as a second language, and whereas the Dutchess Community College can provide such a course at the Amenia Town Hall, provided the town makes available to them for at least 6 hours per week for a period from January 7th, 2013 to August 15th, 2013, one classroom large enough to safely fit up to 30 students in one instructor. And whereas such a classroom is available at the Town Hall, Amenia Town Hall, and is not currently being used by the town for town business. And whereas the Town Board now wishes to provide Dutchess Community College with a license to use one classroom in the second floor of the Amenia Town Hall building for the purpose of providing a course for English as a second language to the members of the public. And whereas the Town Board wishes to authorize the town supervisor to enter into a license agreement in form to be approved by the attorney for the town with Dutchess County College to allow Dutchess Community College to use one classroom on the second floor of the Amenia Town Hall for the purpose of offering English as a second language course to the members of the public for no more than 6 hours per week for the period of January 7th to August 13th, 2013. Whereas the authorization to enter a license agreement for the use of a classroom in the Amenia Town Hall, the type 2 action that is exempt from seeker, and now therefore be resolved that the Town Board hereby authorizes the issuance of a license at the Dutchess Community College to allow Dutchess Community College to use one classroom on the second floor of the Amenia Town Hall for the purpose of offering English as a second language course to members of the public for no more than 6 hours per week for the period January 7, 2013 to August 13, 2013. And be it further resolved that the Amenia Town Board hereby authorizes the supervisor of the town to enter into and execute any documents necessary or incidental to effectuate the license to Dutchess Community College, including but not limited to the signing of the license agreement with Dutchess Community College in a form approved by the attorney for the town.
Supervisor Flood?
Yes.
Councilman Haas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Doyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Parodi?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Reamer?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to do the lease agreement?
With Casco.
Yeah.
Do we have to read the lease agreement? Do we have to do that, or we just sign it?
What is that?
The lease agreement that you made.
Oh, with Dutchess Community College?
No, this is the auditorium.
No.
I don't think we're ready for that, are we?
I don't think we're ready. I just
Yeah.
glancing through it, there are
There's
other
some
things
issues.
that we have to guarantee that are not in place.
Is it-
For example, the kitchen.
Okay.
It says the kitchen shall be operational. You know, I don't think we're ready.
I may have attached the wrong,
Yeah.
because what I did is I attached a proposed license agreement with, to use, what I propose to use for the license agreement with Dutchess Community College. I wasn't able to get in touch with, the contact person. So I drafted the resolution authorizing the town supervisor to enter into whatever agreement I approve. So I'm assuming I'll be able to contact this woman from Dutchess Community College, and then I apologize for that. I don't know.
But that's the one he just read.
No.
That's the resolution, right?
Right.
I had attached
Oh,
my proposed,
I see, this
license
license agreement.
agreement.
I see. Should have
And,
gone with that.
correct.
Yeah.
So I attached the wrong license agreement. That's what I used to create the document,
Uh-huh.
but it,
Yeah, this one we're not ready to,
correct.
yeah.
So, I think I have extra copies. Just, the reason I attached it, just so you could get an idea of
Where's that?
what I was looking for.
Uh-huh. As far as,
I basically took the proposed letter agreement that Dutchess Community College provided to us. I took that information and I incorporated the general language that, town should have in license agreements
I see.
with anybody.
okay.
It also wasn't clear to me from the letter agreement with Dutchess Community College, there is a tuition, wasn't clear to me who collects it and who
They do.
keeps it.
They
They collect and they keep it.
Actually, I think it goes for supplies.
Okay. But in any case, that should be spelled out. Also, I have indemnification language. They had just a general statement that they would provide insurance, but the language that we have in our license agreement requires them to have a specific amount of insurance and then also to name the town as an additional insurer. I do have,
I see, it's more specific dates and times, not just the 6 hours. I mean, it's very specific. The form that you're talking about.
well, I just used the dates and times that they gave us, so
Oh,
the
I see.
6 hours per
Okay.
week. But if you want to be more specific, we can certainly propose that. I think in the license agreement, I guess I just said 6 hours, no more than 6 hours per week between January 7th, 2013 and August 15th, 2015.
We have to read this?
No, again, this is just what I had proposed. I will propose it to
Okay.
Dutchess Community College. The resolution authorized the supervisor to sign whatever agreement I agreed to, or I okay. So I put a call into this woman with Dutchess Community College, a woman that, was going to be signing the letter agreement. And assuming she accepts these terms, then I'll
Okay.
send it to you saying that you'd be okay to sign it. So again, I'm just giving you this as a copy to give you some idea of what I'm proposing. But Dutchess Community College has not agreed to
I
all of
see.
these terms.
information on this yet? And the consultant for,
Yeah, I was gonna wait until after. We have to hire, or no, we don't have to hire. We have to have a IT security policy, which we don't have. And there's another security policy.
we should, I mean, at least we should secure the server.
We did. That's done. That lock was changed the other day. So that's done.
So we're
There's
not
a lady
doing
that-
anything with this
There's a
now?
lady in Dover Plains that has done theirs. She's given a proposal, which
Yeah,
I'll bring
it's
to
here.
her, which is there.
Yeah.
She can do the, we can vote to hire if you want. We can, to do the, I don't think it's a quote though.
$25 an hour.
And a laptop.
Yeah, well, that's not gonna happen. So, all right, we'll take a look at that. I just included it. The state auditors are looking, that's one of the things that they're
Right.
looking for, is, and then we also have the security for the town employees as far as, the use of the computers, what's allowed to be used, what can't be used.
Yeah, part of that's in the employee handbook.
Right, some of it is, but we have to have a specific security account and policy. Also, a security policy for the building, which we've been working with. We've had some security people here. We're getting some quotes as far as locking doors, and but we have to change. We're probably going to have to go to one entry door and not all these entry doors. Block the keys. They're also, the guy from, was it Pesh?
Yeah, Pesh.
Pesh recommended that we lock the glass doors to the second floor, that we all have all the employees are supposed to have a card around their neck, so that you know who they are. Also, there's got to be a pass code from those doors to the second floor, so that people just can't randomly walk in this building up and down the floor, up and down the stairs. Like, the public cannot go in the courtroom, the public cannot go in the town clerk's office other than the counter, same way. They're really getting very tight as to what we can do, what we can't do. So that's just stuff that we have to start dealing with. I'll do the supervisor's report also while we're going. And then one thing that we also did is there's a quote there, I think, from BAS to go into the cloud. Our server has a tape that we change every day, but the state has recommended that we go into the cloud, so it would be stored off-site in Los Angeles, I believe it is, in I think Texas, somewhere. There's 2 sites where it's stored off-site, and then we can either do away. We still have to have the tape because that does your daily backups.
Backup.
And then that's something, I think that was $115 a month. I think that quote's in there, but we can do that after the first. It's based on gigawatts of storage and so on and so forth. So,
Did others get a notice to change your password?
yep,
I just wondered if is that on a rotating basis?
Yeah,
that
it will be.
Or is it randomly?
it's
I was
randomly done
locked
because
out, then I had to find
It's every
out.
so many months you get it.
I hope
But
it
everybody
tells me
gets that
next time.
same notice at the same time? I just got one. so-
right, it's
Well, I
done on
didn't
your.
get one yet.
your
Yeah, I
it's
didn't get
based
it.
on when they put you in.
I see, okay.
So it's a random thing that they're going to ask for new passwords. It's the law.
Okay.
We had a meeting on, was it Tuesday, with the EMS and the fire departments from Amenia NY. I think the meeting went very well to discuss the possibility of paid ambulance service for Amenia and NY in conjunction with the volunteers. So we're going to have another meeting, and they're going to meet with their 2 groups and decide how they want to handle it and get back to us. There is one of the recommendations to do was to create a rescue district.
Ambulance
district within the town, EMS district within the town. but there's an attorney that specializes in that from upstate New York somewhere, so we're going to talk to him. So they have not given me the name at this point, so.
We have another meeting coming up soon.
Right, yeah.
I think it was the attorney for the Wassaic Fire Department.
Well, he's also doing Dover too, because Dover's going to full-time rescue service. Also, I got an email today. Governor Mallory of Connecticut has asked that a moment of silence be done on Friday at 9:30 a.m. for the victims from the school shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. I think that's all I've got. Town board comments?
Yeah, I was going to say that there was a request from Cindy Snow that the town board consider a drumming circle that I happened to notice was on the Weebatuck School, also being offered at the Weebatuck Schools District. But she wanted to do it one Thursday per month, and it would be free and open to the public, I guess. It would be led by Vicki Valinsky, who I noticed was also the leader of, of note on the Weebatuck's calendar. How does the board want to do this for free recreational activities? It seems that, the beanbag toss, the, dance program, I don't know who else does it. If it's a program that's for profit that people are getting charged, like the Zumba, then we charge the $25 fee, or is that the understanding? Or I said I would bring it up. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing.
Is this something they're going to have here?
They would offer it here, free to the public.
Now, what is it?
A drumming circle. I think it's kind of a participatory activity. I've never done it myself. It's drums. You bring a drum, or
It's like a jam session for drums.
I have never been to one.
She came in today, and
did she do a building use?
She didn't bring no drums with her. And the only place we have available 7 to 8 on a Thursday evening is I offered her the auditorium.
Okay. Oh, and she liked that?
I think she did.
Yeah.
I gave her a building use application to fill out.
Okay.
She's going to fill it out, and she's going to bring it back. So you're telling me now don't charge her for this? Is that what you're saying?
I just said I would bring it up to the board and see what was
she charging?
the policy.
Or is it just a jam session
Just
type thing?
anyone can show up.
Yeah, that's what she's hoping, and more and more people will come.
Okay.
Okay?
It's what, for an hour?
Yeah, 7 to 8. She's going to try it.
Yeah, I don't see any.
But my thing is, there may not be anyone in the building after 8 o'clock, so she's going to have a key or a code.
Just call us and we'll see.
Somebody could come and lock her out, lock up.
Yeah, we're normally around. I'm normally around.
I can help with that. If it's one Thursday a month, it's not the end of the world.
Okay.
Can we get her in on a town board night?
I try.
That way we can
We'll be overseeing it.
You have the basketball. So
Maybe we should have her in here.
I'm thinking she should.
The other thing is that on Friday, tomorrow, the World Peace Sanctuary in Wassaic is offering thoughts and prayers for world peace. They do that around the winter solstice anyway. They welcome anybody from the community to also be considering at that time families surviving the Newtown tragedy as well. So that's tomorrow, 6:30 to 7:30 at the World Peace Prayer Sanctuary. I think that's all I have. Oh, aren't we going forward with billing? How do we move forward with accepting the proposal from, we had 2 bids for
the
doing
water
the billing?
bill?
Yeah.
Well, Jane is going to do the January billing,
Right.
so we really don't have to address it. I mean, the next
now.
billing will be April.
Okay,
So we have plenty of time after the first of the year
okay.
to make a decision.
Ian has talked to the state, we may not be able to do what we want to do, so
Okay.
we'll see, we
They're
talked this
checking out.
afternoon.
I put a call in yesterday to the controller's office. Nobody got back to me. I didn't call Association of Towns. I thought they might have some information as well. My research indicates that you don't have the authority to do that for the billing. You don't have the authority to contract with respect to, water district work unless you specifically are given some authority in a statute. And there is no authority for the town board, or you don't have a board of commissioners, but if you did, for a board of commissioners to contract with a private entity to handle billing and collection of fees. And I did see a controller's opinion that said that, when you have a situation where you're collecting town money or money from residents in a district, that you shouldn't contract with a private contractor. It should be a duty that's done by
In-house,
by the town or
which is what we've been doing.
Right, correct. But I'll see if I'll try Association of Towns and see if they have any insight.
But isn't this what we do at Reorg? This is for Reorg. We name our attorney at that time. That's how we contract.
One question I have. Dawn Marie sent us that letter of interest for person to do bank reconciliation in the town clerk's office. Isn't that up to her to appoint the
Yes.
person to do it? So we have nothing to do with that, correct?
She just sent out the,
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sure if she was
Resumes.
asking us for approval or
I
if...
told her today, it's up to her.
Okay.
But I think we hire them, don't we?
No.
Town board doesn't hire the person who comes in to do the bank work?
No, the clerk does.
Huh?
You hire your own person? Yeah.
It should be an outsider.
It has to be. It has to be third party.
She'll replace Jane.
Right.
I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I wanted to remind everyone to shop locally. We have a lot of wonderful shops and restaurants, and please support our local businesses.
Here, here.
Yes.
I support that. Eat a lot of food. We did have a woman that called, I think she's from Southern End, that wants to hang some art here in the hallways. But we've tried to reach out to her, we have not been able to reach her. I know Mary's been trying. So that's something we'll have to bring up to the board if they want. We've had some other people that have asked if we would do that to hang art, and they would have shows and so on and so forth within the building. So it gets more people here and more public into Amenia, so that I think it's a good thing. We have to come up with some kind of parameters as to how they're going to do it and hang it and all that other stuff.
It's the insurance.
Well, they have to have their own insurance as far as
But also the walls, as I recall, are concrete, so it doesn't lend itself to adding, hanging stuff. You'd have to be very, it'd have to be done with some sensitivity, I would guess, the hanging of the art.
But isn't there a molding in the hallways?
There semes like
I think
there is a
They
molding.
can hang from that.
I think there is a picture mold.
Right, picture
Yeah.
mold. Because there is artwork that was in this building.
Really?
Yeah, Ann Linden has it. The original, there was some artwork from the Depression, well, I forget what they were called, the
The WPA?
the WPA.
Oh, that would be great if those are...
Yeah, she was going to bring them back, but I haven't heard from her, so. Also, there was some art done by Maplebrook School kids years ago,
Mhm.
the big posters, and she was gonna bring them back so we can hang those here also. She has those too.
That'd be great.
I have
Other
Actually, I
matters?
have one more thing. I was just looking for it. Chip Watt sent this around to us, I guess a week or so ago, but there's Sharon Recreation has an introduction to gymnastics for those aged 7 to 12. If you're interested, you can contact Matt Matts, M-A-T-T-E-S is his last name. His phone number is 860-364-1400. And that's, I'm assuming that'll be held over in Sharon, maybe at their elementary school. And happy holidays. Oh, yeah, sure. It's 860-364-1400.
What age group again is?
7 to 12.
I'd love to see gymnastics here in the gym since we have purchased one mat. In fact, I asked Matt Matz to look into the possibility of offering gymnastics here in Amenia. It would be really great.
And because I think that was a follow-up message that Chip sent us all, that it appears they are interested in coming here. So I don't know if the Recreation Commission has scheduled him to come in at their meeting in January, but there is interest.
It is a charge, a charged, right? There's a fee associated with it. I'd love to see it free, but at least we could get somebody in here to do it.
Did we finalize the ad for putting in for the rec director?
Yes, it's in. We have.
So I think, once we have
Things will
someone in
Yeah.
place, we could start pulling all, or that person could start pulling all this together.
Actually, I think Mary
Including
got
the drums, all that stuff.
Right.
To
3 or 4
coordinate everything.
applicants today, yesterday and
Oh,
today.
good,
So,
great.
Good.
they're
Did
coming.
we put a closing date, or did we leave it open
No,
until
it's-
filled?
No, it's a closing date. It's January 9th or 10th, something like that, I think.
Okay.
Other matters, I have nothing. Public comments?
I just wanted to thank a board member. I don't know if some of you know, I've been taking those gardening classes over at the Cornell Cooperative Extension, and I needed a ride there and a ride back every Thursday of the week. And yeah,
It's my
Patty, sit back.
My pleasure.
And Vicky very graciously gave me rides. Sometimes in the evening, she had to drive me home and then go back because she had evening meetings at Cary. Who knew all the taxis in this town could be used up in a single day? I even got a ride at a bill once. Or was he surprised? About 7:30. I got through a list of people to call. I mean, the dial-a-ride, and they're wonderful people. Dial-a-ride and these other services, and they're great for the afternoon. But boy, the scheduling is a Byzantine process you have to go through. Calling here, they call there. It's very difficult. It's never available in the morning. So if you want to do something productive, there really is no service or ride for you. I think that's changing with the new one because they hook you up with people who I think are making commutes. Just this last time I got an offer for a ride at 7:50, which is, I mean, it doesn't, 3 days a week it opens at 9, so they can't be here till 10, so you can't get anywhere to 11. And 2 days a week, it starts at 1, I think, noon or 1 to go to 9, I guess, for people, for like Tuesday and Thursday for evening appointments. But anyway, because of the vagaries of that whole situation, I mean, that was what, from the beginning of September till the first week in December, that was just a stunning commitment. I mean, I did pay her in confections, there was, she didn't want gas money, but some of Gretchen's cooking, but thank you very much, Vicki.
It was my pleasure.
It was
Could
a
I-
phenomenal effort. Oh, and so I graduated.
Congratulations. So Kevin became a master gardener. That's a great thing. I don't think we've had one since, Dolores, right? Dolores
Right,
Holland
right.
got hers.
And I would like to request that you appear at the Community Day on September 8th next year.
Oh, yeah, I've
We'd like
asked
to
for
have a
anything
master
local.
gardener there.
Anything when I don't need a ride, yeah, I want to.
September.
Are you going to start planting now? What you're going to do?
The 4,400 bulbs from 2 weeks ago weren't good enough?
But they're not planted yet.
They're-
Out here.
No, they are in the front.
He did it.
This is it. No, this is the, he's busting my
You want
chops. This is the
more?
classic, what have you done for me lately thing.
We got plenty of work to do.
Oh, here, right, yeah, see?
I have-
So, I wouldn't have been able to get this.
It's beautiful.
So thank you very much.
Gosh, well,
It
it's
really
been
was
a
an
pleasure.
amazing,
We have so much fun driving to and fro Cornell Cooperative together.
I'd like to take this opportunity to give a special thank you to Kevin for all the advertising he did for the Holiday of Lights. He was on the radio, he was having flyers printed, he was running them all over the place. I think the fact that it was advertised so well really was the reason, part of the reason that it was just so successful and so many people enjoyed it.
Yes,
Thank you.
I agree.
I've had many people call and speak to me about the Holiday of Light thing. The celebration was incredible.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most positive things Amenia's had in a long time. It's a great thing to see. And hopefully it's just the beginning, and next year will be bigger and better.
I have one question on a technical thing. For the raffle prizes that didn't get collected, are they gonna, they're done?
They're done. They're
Okay.
all
They're-
distributed.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you for doing that.
I'd just like to say one thing. This is our 7th year.
Could you
in-
go to the podium,
Oh,
please?
sorry. All right, Marilyn Noe, Amenia. This is the 7th year that we're starting and living in Amenia. I have never seen Amenia as lovely as it is this year. And what's nice is 343 looks great, but I'm noticing the lights are beginning to extend down onto West Main Street, Route 44. So, I think that's really positive, and it's nice to see all the businesses and the progress that's been made.
Thank you. The board has done a lot of work this year, which we'll get into that in the next meeting. We have to go into an executive session to discuss some pending legal matters.
Do you want to stay? We get to go.
It's not going to take long.